The beginning of the first chapter illustrates the book's setting. We are then presented with the arrival of the two most vital characters, the determined George and the simple-minded Lenny. The friends state their business, travelling to get to work at the ranch before settling down for the night. However, George discovers that Lenny has a dead mouse, which he disposes of and thus turns his anger on the unsuspecting Lenny. Lenny appears very upset by George's rants and offers to leave him in order to start a new life. George, feeling both regretful and apologetic, comforts Lenny by reminding him of their dream. This, in its basics, is to own a plot of land where they can settle down and run their own lives. This is the American dream. On page 6, we learn that Lenny has been hoarding a mouse and that he'd pet it. This shows us a strong insight into his poor mind as he is to take power over something small and weak. This shows us Lenny's desire for power even though he would not be able to look after himself. This perhaps portrays that later in the chapter, Lenny will try to get away. On page 13, Lenny wishes to get away, but George has to convince him to stay because George understands that Lenny needs his assistance to survive. However, it could be also be a show of selfishness that George refuses to let his friend free. On page 14, George promises to give Lenny a dog, this hollow promise which we know honestly will never happen. This, however, shows us that George is a manipulative character who only wishes to be in charge of everyone despite the fact that he is being anchored by Lenny. Furthermore, loyalty and friendship is also shown throughout chapter 1 of the book. I'll give you the match when you get the sticks. This shows that George already knows what Lenny is going to do, which shows that Lenny is a loyal friend to his friend as he knows what is wanted of him and what his friend will do in return. This shows that over the years their friendship has grown and they are not so close that they know what each other is going to do and prefers to do without asking. Strengths and weaknesses are shown with the quotation, "I got you to look after me and you got me to look after you." This suggests that their weakness is to be independent. They need each other. George feels safe because of Lenny's physical strength and Lenny feels safe because of George's mental strength. Furthermore, Lenny's mental weakness could be a reason for the strong bond between Lenny and George, as he needs looking after by George. In the book of Mice and Men, Lenny resorts to shouting at George, which then leads to George ignoring Lenny. He pretends to be unaware of Lenny, so close beside him. George's ignorance seems solely toward Lenny. This could symbolize that George thinks that his friendship with Lenny is over, thus meaning that he wants to escape and hide away from the facts. This could also imply that George knew he was wrong in doing what he did, and would rather shut himself away from the world. Moreover, George may feel sympathetic, knowing that his friend Lenny may have some sort of mental condition. Poor bastard. The B of the bastard may seem quite aggressive and vindictive, yet we know they are friends, and this may give it a sympathetic feel. Putting the words of poor and bastard together is quite oxymoronic, and this could lead to the leader feeling quite sympathetic toward Lenny, as they are the only words that could be used to describe him. The theme of anger is shown with the quotation, "You crazy son of a bitch, and you're a crazy bastard." This shows George's anger towards Lenny because of Lenny's forgetfulness. With Lenny replying, "I forgot, honest to God I did," this shows that Lenny is easily intimidated by George. George uses anger to control Lenny and stop Lenny from getting them into trouble. In relation to the theme of the strengths and weaknesses, this could be one of George's strengths as it helps him to get what he wants, and Lenny's weakness could involve him giving up and being easily intimidated.